Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you had a nice day, a nice weekend, nice sunny and warm. I always make sure I stay out of the sun, but somehow I managed to get a little bit of a sunburn. So that's right. Um, what I want to do is talk about the AP exam. It's a week away. And if you are not taking the AP exam, just hang out for a bit. It won't take that long, just so that you're aware of what's out there for you, what your options are. A lot of people aren't using the College Board website, which is fine. It's optional, but again, I want to show you what it is that you have at your disposal. First, 1 week away, so this is the actual time frame that you will be taking it. So in 7 days' time, if I go to get that out of the way there. Here we go. So if I go to just straight up collegeboard.org, this is the first thing you see, and this thing has been up here since March. So the Corona update information. So I do that. And it gives me information on the SAT and the AP exams. SAT, yeah, right. A update for AP students. I go with that one. It gives me lots of information here. The schedule, which we've talked about a bunch. Taking the exams. I'm going to go taking the exams. Now, we've got an online free response exams for each course. We've got tips for taking open note, open book exams, etc. Getting ready for exam day. This right here, you click on this, and now what it has, it's got some ideas and options, everything else. But when you come down here, right here on May 4th, that's today, May the 4th be with you, you can practice submitting responses with the exam demo. So even if you're not taking AP Physics, you're taking something else, make sure you jump on there and make sure you go through the process, how you can submit answers, all those things, so that it's not the first time you've seen it next week when you jump on. So that's my suggestion down here. Obviously, they're using Chrome. You can't use Internet Explorer. Does that even exist anymore? I don't know. So just make sure you're going through all these things so that you know what it is you need. Making sure you have what you need, your little checklist right here. And again, the e-ticket. So I mentioned this because it was something that was updated to us AP teachers. I think it was last Thursday. If you're not getting the emails from College Board, it sounds like some are and some are not, just like some teachers are not getting the emails and some are. Log in and make sure your schedule, your testing schedule, is accurate. And I have been told that if your testing schedule presented there is accurate, then you will get your e-ticket to the AP exam 2 days prior to your actual test. It will be there. But you can, again, you can kind of read up on all this stuff. You can confirm your email if you want to make sure you're getting these things. So lots of things right there. So again, you just start off with the main page, you hit the Corona update, and you go with AP for students. You come down here, taking the exam, and then you go down and getting ready for exam day. So I think those are all pretty easy steps to remember to get to right where I was showing you those different resources and tools for you. Let's see, so there's that. And the last thing that I wanted to bring up before we open up to other things, this right here is my teacher page. So I've got second period and third period. And again, I've told you that the website is not great when it comes to the things that, that they have and how they have those things kind of shown. But if I go to my page, it kind of defaults to electricity and magnetism since it's alphabetical order that comes before mechanics, I suppose. So progress checks, these are the things that I have opened for you. So if I go to progress and I go down, so you'll see all the things that I've opened up for you, Unit 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, I've got period 2, period 3, so that's why there seems to be so many. So I opened up the multiple choice just because, why not? Everything's optional. And then I opened up the FRQ for Unit 1. And then same thing for Unit 2 and Unit 3. Unit 4 and 5 is not going to be tested upon, so I did not bother opening those. So those are open for you. Over here on the right-hand side, I've got something in the way, so I'm going to move it over here. Over on the right-hand side, what you'll see is a list of numbers. So if it's a gray number, it means that's how many students haven't begun. Light blue is how many have started, and dark blue is how many people have done it and submitted their answers for me, your teacher, actually me, to grade. I cannot see their scoring rubric. For some of them, I can't even see the questions until you submit. I don't know the logic behind that, but that's just what happens unless there's some magical way for me to do it. I've tried. So I can't jump on and say, hey, for question number 1, make sure you try this, or don't forget that. I can't do that because these are intended to be kind of like little mini tests. So you do it. If you don't know what you're doing, no problem. You get a 0 for that particular part of the question. And then what happens is I grade it, I go through, and then once, I can either delay your scores, or I can say once I grade it, you get it. That's what I have it set to right now. So as soon as you submit and as soon as I grade it and I submit my answers, you'll see whatever your score is, and you'll see the scoring rubric as well. So obviously, the whole point of this was not to say, why isn't anyone doing it? That's not the intent, but you can see most people haven't used this. A few people have started some of them, and a few people have actually finished. So if that's something you want to do, you can do any or all of them. And again, you have that you've got that for the 3 different units for E&M. And then when it comes to mechanics, if I remember correctly, it's through, that's not what I want progress. Should be through Unit 5. Yep, so there you go. So again, you can see not a lot of people taking advantage of it, but it's there for you if you want. And as they get done, I will jump on there, especially this last week here. There hasn't been a whole lot of activity, but I'll jump on there each day, see if anyone has submitted anything. If you want, you can always go through, read it, and if you don't have the time, you can just say submit, submit, submit. You get a 0 out of whatever. It's not, that's what your score is. It's not graded, but that's what your score would be because you 0. But then you get to see the scoring rubric. So you can always do that. Now, one thing that I noticed, and I'll talk to the student individually, but there was one student, either they just didn't submit any answers, which is fine, you can do that, or their submission process didn't quite work. So I've seen, in the few that I've graded, I saw some people typing into Word. I had some people uploading a picture that they made. I had some people uploading a picture of their actual handwritten work. All those things are acceptable. So whether you're using this right here for practice or something, make sure you're practicing the method you intend on using to submit your answers. In addition to all of this, if I go up here, one last thing I want to show you, and unfortunately I don't know how to get there exactly because I don't have a student view that I get to use, but for me, I come across here these progress checks. Those are things that I open for you. Continuing across, I have this thing called Question Bank, and I go to progress, and I can pick out questions for you, all that kind of stuff. But right here, optional student practice. I click on this, and this right here opens up. And so what I have here is, looks like I have a few people that have attempted a few of these. They've begun, but they haven't submitted anything for grading yet. Is I've got some long and short FRQ practice questions that people have done. And again, I've had people ask questions about them. I said, well, I can't see the question, so unless you show me the question, I can't really help you. So give it a shot, try it, and then submit. And it should pop up somewhere for me to grade. So more practice. I'd start with the progress check, start with those. And then if you want more, you come over here. yeah, those are things that I wanted to point out to you, those resources that you have. And again, they have long and short FRQs, so you can kind of see the difference, because this is new for all of us. So recap, test in a week, jump on the College Board and practice your submissions. Look at the resources they have, the checklist, the suggestions they have for open note, open book kind of things. And then if you want, jump on here and try some of these and submit. That way I can grade them right away, and then you can see. So try a couple, and if you don't want to do the third one, part C, I don't know, not even gonna answer it. Fine, doesn't matter. You're not getting graded, but I will go through and score to as quickly but as accurately as I can to get them back to you. You also have UT review assignments that we've been working on, which are a good review process. And I think that's it. So again, it's open book, open notes. So have all those equations, not just, pardon me, not just their equation sheet. Have our equation sheet there too, the one that has all those equations that that we derive in class that maybe weren't able to use. What I would do is I'd make sure I put a divider line. Okay, simple harmonic motion and gravity, those are these right here. Put a little X through them or put a little box around them. You don't need those. So if you're going through trying to figure out which equation, it might be useful to know which equations are not going to be relevant to what you're doing most likely. So those are my suggestions to you as far as test preparation. So at this point, it seems like most of our Zoom question and answer sessions have kind of been going back to the review questions for the online, which is great. If anything's closed and you need it reopened, let me know and I'll do that. But if you have any questions on reviews, any questions on magnetism or whatever, remember those magnetism Google form questions, those are the attendance questions. So even if you don't want to give me a right answer because you're just kind of quickly getting it done just to get counted for attendance because you were doing other physics things like reviewing for your exam, that's completely acceptable. You don't even have to do it on the slide. You just put your name and your hour in, and I see, oh, 5.1, they did it. I will be grading those, so you can always go back after your exam's done or whenever. You can always go back and then resubmit with better answers. So if all you need to do is quickly get on there for attendance, then do it, and then go back and change your answers. Let me rephrase that because you can't change anything. Resubmit. Your original submission will be there. It'll be time stamped. You're on time for week 5 as long as you get it done today. That will count. But then you can go back and submit a second or a third time, and you can correct anything. So now I think that's everything that I wanted to present to you. I'll be on Wednesday at 10 a.m. as well, and any other Zoom sessions that you would like to have, you just have to put out a request to me through an email or something, or a remind, and give me a couple days and a couple times. I'm sure most of those dates and times will work out for me, but just let me know. Just give me a day and a general time, morning, afternoon, or night, and we can make something happen. So with that, if you have any questions about anything, unmute or go to the chat. And with that, I will stop talking and turn it over to any questions you guys might have.